And welcome back to Let's Play Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Last time we finished up Chapter 3 officially by doing the Bowser and Peach sections. And this time we are starting with the Troubles. We also got access to Chapter 4, which was a lot less of a procedure than getting access to Chapter 3, which was rather lovely, might I add. Personally, I'm not really crazy about the Piano Syndicate stuff. It just kind of drags a little bit too long. Meanwhile, we also need to look for a certain green plumber. Great Gonzalez crowned champion in the Glitz pit, but he turned down the belt. Great Gonzalez rules he may be even stronger than Prince Mush. Gee, I wonder who wrote that. Perhaps that kid who kept ranting about Prince Mush and then was converted into a Great Gonzalez fan. Well, I got my second piece of the marvelous compass at Plumpberry Village recently. Oh boy, I really got my hands dirty in that one, I'll tell you what. Okay, prepare to fall asleep. Once we made landfall on the shooter content we made for Plumpberry Village. Once we got there, we immediately noticed something was wrong. We learned from the mayor that the town was ruled by a giant snake named Tiza. He said his own daughter was going to be offered up as a sacrifice for this beast too. So of course, being heroic, I offered myself up to go into her stead. Brave, huh? Now the custom was for the sacrifices to be dressed up as brides, so I got all dolled up. As one hot sacrifice, bro. I looked so good that I fooled our foes and got in Tiza's lair. It's kind of rough fighting in that gown, but I managed. Chiffon really chafes, bro. I'm fine if the snake has a second head on his tail. Talk about scary. Fainted real quick, but I managed to come to her. But when I managed to come to, I managed to distract both heads. I reeled up Fang's bear to attack, and at that moment, I definitely lunged left. His gaping mouth smashed into one another, and he vanished in a cloud of smoke. A shining plate fell down on the spot where his body had been coiled. There's another compass piece. I set it and it pointed east to Circuit Break Island. Just as I was about to leave the town, the mayor asked me to stay and marry his daughter. I thought about it, she was sorta cute, but we ended up sneaking off the next morning. I sought to rescue Princess Eclair from the Chestnut King, and when the marvelous compass activated this time I heard somebody's voice. It was beautiful, bro. I'm certain it was Princess Eclair's voice. My heart began to race. That's when I realized Princess Eclair, I think I kind of zoned out there. So yeah, we set sail again after ditching town, and somehow we managed to get back here. I love that. Somehow we managed to get back here. Hi, guys. I'm Jerry, a Bob-Omb from Plumpberry Village. Nice meeting you. Sorry I sound so down, but you would be too if you saw Luigi dressed as a bride. I'm serious. It scarred me. It was honestly scarier than the giant snake thing. I feel I have a moral duty to stop Luigi from ever dressing as a bride again. I have to protect the world from my fate. Wow. Okay, so if you have played another Mario RPG that actually gets referenced quite a bit in this game, you'll know that this is not the first time Luigi has had to go undercover as a woman. The other time was Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, which, yeah, is actually referenced repeatedly in this game. The next major reference is Chapter 5, unfortunately. But it's a pretty obvious reference if you play Mario & Luigi. So I was actually contemplating playing Mario & Luigi first, but frankly, I guess 2 Let's Plays of Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga just wrapped up earlier this year. So I figured, maybe I should wait on Mario & Luigi for a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, back to Glitzville to take on Jolene's trouble. We'll actually get a lot of text I'll be skimming because it's really inconsequential. Also, first of all, we have 208 coins. I never brought that to our attention. So we can easily afford a hot dog now. Why are we buying a hot dog, you may ask? Well, I have my reasons, but it's a little bit on the complicated side. So, yeah, we'll get to that a lot later. I was gonna say a little bit later, but it's actually more like a lot later. You're the next champ, right? The Great Gonzalez? I don't know if you noticed, but Jolene is the fight promoter now. If you have business with her, head down the hallway. Oh, you're planning a comeback? That would be so awesome. Unfortunately, when accepting this quest, you basically get saddled with the responsibility of coming back as the Great Gonzalez, so that's I don't want to say unfortunate because, I don't know, it's kind of okay, but it's also a little bit weird at the same time that you can't really opt out of this cutscene. Basically, she will re-recruit you. Re-recruit you? Well, technically, she never recruited him. No, not Princess. Rockhawk made a dramatic comeback and is reigning supreme again. It's been a whirlwind of activity every day since became a promoter. You don't really have a choice here. You literally don't have a choice. The catch is your fight registration was deleted by accident, so that means you actually have to restart in the minor leagues, which is good if you miss titles. You can actually go back and get the titles that in case you missed any. So basically, it works exactly the same way. It's the exact same fights. But the actual quest is to remove, air quotes, garbage from the storeroom, which luckily is right next to us. Okay. So this is really tedious. It's actually a pretty easy trouble, but it's also very time consuming because you have to actually go back and forth between Rogueport and the Glitz pit a few times. So I'm actually going to switch to Yoshi here, because we'll need Yoshi in a little bit. I have no clue how the dirty laundry ended up all the way up here. That's actually a very good question. Okay, so we did buy the hot dog for a reason. I just wanted to point that out to save time later on. Okay, off we go. Once we're the champion, we can actually come in this room all the time. Take it away, Goonfree. Well, old Goonfree again. He seems to be getting a lot of weird packages lately. This one's weirder than the last, though. Okay, off we go. Not gonna do the minor league again right this moment. I'll probably do that off screen for levels if I need levels, but I probably won't. Because, frankly, those enemies don't provide good experience because we're at the end game for that chapter. We are basically at chapter 4 levels, so the chapter 3 enemies, except for like Dark Craw, Rockhawk, and Koopinator, basically, yeah, those are the only enemies that would actually help us at this point in terms of leveling. Which actually brings up the point that when I first played the game, I said this last time, I got to the final boss, gave up. And then I did a lot of repeat playthroughs. In my attempt to actually beat the final boss, I over-leveled like crazy. Like, insanely over-leveled for the final boss. Because it was my first playthrough, and I was like 10. The funny story is, I actually did a lot of level grinding, just redoing the Rockhawk fight over and over again, because he gives you a good amount of experience every time you fight him. So I just did that fight over and over again. It was not fun, but it was a good strategy. It's like when people say do the gym battles and Heart Gold, Soul Silver over and over again. Do all the training matches to basically get to a good level to fight Red. It's basically that. Here's another obnoxious thing. You have to do this individually, so just spam A. Do not spam B because I'll cancel out. You just have to spam A, and that's literally all you do here. I have no clue why they thought this was a good idea, to be honest. This feels like really poor design that you can't just hand them all over at once. But I don't know. It's not too bad. It only takes like a minute. Make sure you get the rest pay. So that means you have to go all the way back to Glitzville, which is my problem with this game in general. Compared to the first game, you do a lot more backtracking in this one. You do a lot more backtracking in this one compared to the other games. So that is a problem I do have. You have to go back and forth quite a few times. Not only for troubles, but also for the main story. We'll be seeing that starting in Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is considered the second worst chapter for backtracking. The worst chapter for backtracking is Chapter 7. for a very, very infamous quest that's in the main story, where you literally have to revisit like every location you've actually gone to in the game. Spoilers, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. It's really terrible. Blind playthroughs often get really mad at this point because of how terrible this quest is and how stupidly it's resolved. But that's a story for another time, and thankfully about 20 episodes from now. Because we still have chapter 4, 5, and 6 to go through, and 6 is the second longest chapter in the game, I would say, after the final chapter, which is very, very long, because you have a lot of fighting, and you have a lot of cutscenes. The final boss itself takes a good hour, 2 hours, so I'm not sure how to approach that because desyncing. So I'm a little bit worried about the final boss, to be honest, just from the standpoint of an audio setup, because I've had so many issues with desyncing this Let's Play. I am very concerned with that. Very, very concerned. Because yeah, it's like a final boss, and then you have a very long cutscene following it, so I'm not sure how to go about this. Because I can't go past an hour without desyncing, I've discovered. I can only do essentially 2 of these videos at a time, and it'll be fine, and then by the 3rd video, it's a little bit desynced, and by the next video, it'll be massively desynced. So I can only do 2 at a time at most. So actually more like 40 minutes, not even an hour. One thing I might try is basically just refresh the capture card periodically. I hope that would work, but might not be a very good finale. Just fair warning, I may have to post-commentate the finale, just because it takes like 2 hours, and I probably won't feel like redoing it if the recording doesn't work. You know, like the grubber fight, that wasn't hard to redo, which I did redo the grubber fight. He got frozen, which was hilarious, and actually died on the frozen damage. Like seriously, I got him down to 1 HP when he was frozen, and then him breaking out of the ice was the final hit, which was actually really hilarious. I kind of wish that was the run that actually worked. I mean, that was actually the recorded run, because it was really hilarious. Thus, the time on the counter and the pause menu might be a little bit off in this episode compared to where we ended off previously. Okay, Merle wants a recipe. I first learned the recipe from Taste Tea. Okay, this is a bit of a runaround once more, but we actually get a really handy shortcut. Which is something else that just happens to fall into place, sort of like the hot dog. Well, frankly put, simply put, is what I'm trying to say. Merle is over here. And we actually get a thing that's actually very helpful that'll make our lives so much easier in the future. But conveniently, it's just along the way, so that's really lovely. We'll probably use her spell at some point. Literally, all she does is tell you to go to Pelberg. So that's a waste of like a minute. Still can't get that treasure chest because we don't have a bomber. Now you may be thinking to yourself, wait, Pelberg's the other way. Yes, I'm aware that Pelberg's the other direction, but we actually have a shortcut option now. If we go down to the second screen and go here, we actually have this room, which I think we accidentally stumbled into a while ago, but never actually did anything in. Well, now we can actually do something in it. This room may look a little bit familiar if you've played the first game. It's a pipe room. Sadly, the other pipe room to the left of us is actually sealed off because it has a metal block that we cannot break yet. But for now, that's all we really need to do. All 3 chapters are easily accessed through Rogueport now. Toast tea. Sorry, but I was not paying attention, so I forgot where she lives. I think Merle said where she lives even. No, wait, that's the not the Peach Fanatic's house, so it is this house to the right. This one. There we go. Back on track. Oh shoot, I forgot to do something on the way. Yeah, I screwed something up. That would have saved a lot of time. So before we actually go to Merlee, the best thing we can actually do is go to West Rogueport and buy cake mix, which sounds very, very arbitrary, but frankly, she told us the recipe was rune powder and cake mix, so it can be inferred that we need cake mix. Sadly, you can't get rune powder immediately, but luckily for us, we don't need to. Merlee already has rune powder, she just needs cake mix. But yeah, on the way back from Glitzville, I meant to stop and get cake mix. So that was my bad. You can get cake mix from the West Rogueport Pianta Parlor. That's why I said it would be better if we had gotten it then. It costs 6 Pianta coins. Luckily, the quest from the Boo there gave us 10, so we're actually covered. It's one of those weird quests that actually works to help a later quest, if that makes any sense. So she'll give us our 10 coins back, and we can buy the cake mix. La-di-da. There we go. All 4 coins to store. I don't know if we'll get to the last quest because of that. Because there's one more quest, but it's just delivering a hot dog to the Bob-Omb in Pelberg, so it'll take like 5 seconds for the next episode. It'll take no time at all, so I think we might just save that for next time. And then just do that and go to Chapter 4. See, this post-game is so much shorter than the last one, which took forever. Sadly, Chapter 5 is a handful again. Yeah, Chapter 5 is a complete pain in the butt, as is Chapter 6. As is Chapter 7's. Chapter 8 is really short, actually. It's just 5, 6, and 7 that are kind of a handful. 7 isn't even that bad, to be honest, compared to 6 and 5. Okay, give you the recipe. But she has no cake mix, as I alluded to, so if we give her cake mix, she'll basically make a cake. And we get 30 coins, so that's well worth it. And we might as well actually get the spell for the road. We have plenty of coins for this. And away we go! A mystic power can make you smile. In battle, you'll win with style. Even nasty foes survives, you will be fine, since my fortune will thrive. That's what she always says, and whether it's true or not is debatable. Off screen, I'll probably accept the trouble because it's just saying I'm hungry, give me a hot dog. Or something like that. So, and then we'll go talk to the Bob-Omb. Actually, because we're on East Rogueport, we might be able to just quickly show that. At least accepting the trouble and then going there. Okay, back to East Rogueport. Wow, we can see Grifty from here. I forgot you could actually see him from here. He probably doesn't even show up until this chapter because you can't get to the roof. Okay, so Bob-Omb has a craving for a certain food item. So, next time we will be going back to Pelberg and giving him a hot dog. Thank you for watching, and I hope you join me next time for more Paper Mario: The 1000-Year Door.